tell you that I think I lost my way. I know you're there behind the mirror, but the cracks they begin to show. I've got a secret I can't tell you. I just wanna be alone. I didn't know how much I needed, but I got to give it somehow. Waking up to nothing. When you know you're out of it. Waking up to nothing. I wanna do it again. I'm so happy when I'm with you, but I hate it just the same. I know the walls they have no meaning, but I swear they are all I need. Waking up to nothing. When you know you're out of it. I wanna lay low without you home. I've got everything I need. When you know you're nothing I need. Waking up to nothing. I wanna do it again. When you know you're out of it. Waking up to nothing. When you know you're out of it. I wanna lay low without you home. I got everything I need. When you know you're nothing I need.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the round 4 of the Anti-Star Racing Touring Car series. Today we are at Streets of Chicago, a completely new track for this series, and actually a new track in general because it's going to be the first time this track in real life is going to be attended by NASCAR this year. With me, I have Kevin Stam.
Hey, good evening. Good evening. Glad to be here. Glad to be here. Yeah, and I'm excited to see this race, man. It's a new track. It's a tricky track. It's a street circuit, so there's bound to be some shenanigans there. And yeah, I'm absolutely stoked that we're going here.
Indeed, street courses in general fit touring cars really well. We've seen a lot of touring car series using street courses. This one is it doesn't look like it's very complicated because it's mostly 90 degrees. But trust me, it's going to be more hard than you think because of all the bumps and the elevations. And in general, with these cars, they stick really well together because of the drafting. We are going to see a lot of action coming here.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. It's going to be an amazing race. Yeah, as you said, it's a relatively looks straightforward, but I mean, looks can be deceiving, as you guys all know. It's 3.4 kilometers long. The track temperature is absolutely blazing, as it usually is in the US, so our drivers will probably be happy with that. Last week we had some complaints about cold tires and such, so hopefully they'll be a bit better for them. It has 12 corners, 3 to the left and 9 to the right, so that should be very exciting. And I believe we have some gladiators getting on track, so let's jump into the action, shall we?
Indeed, qualifying is underway. We see already many packing out to go first.
Yep, just trying to get a good view of the drivers here. There we go.
Good. Yeah, and how many do we have today? I cannot see it from here.
I believe we have a 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12 drivers, I believe. So it's a relatively good field for a pretty niche circuit, I'd say.
Indeed. And it's not easy, as you can see. The corners aren't exactly as easy as you think just from looking at the map. Look at how the walls suddenly just go narrower, and there are points where there's bumpiness on the entry of the corners. You just have to go with a really good line from one corner to another one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very tricky track on that part. I mean, let's see, I believe car number 87, which is Joni Niemi, will be most likely passenger finish first. So how about we go on board with him for the first lap, shall we? As he's about to approach the last corner. So let's have a nice on board with him in his beautiful, beautiful Hyundai. All right.
Yes, go on to the first lap of the Chicago Street Circuit, the official one of the series. At the pit straight here, a 90-degree corner to the left.
Yeah,
Careful to not be at the inside of the wall. Have a good wide line to go from the other corner. That's another 90 degrees to the right. This one has a narrower exit. Be careful to not brush the wall, otherwise you get 0x and it just removes your lap. A big straight, but it's not exactly straight because you have some really short corners to the right. It gets even narrower on this corner here. And watch out for the tire barrier, because it does get narrower here. Another 90-degree corner. Exactly. Really careful with the exit there. And never be too close to the entry, otherwise you might clip your wheel and it's game over. We might see somebody do it in the race. Another deep 90-degree corner to the left. You see a little bridge here. It goes downhill now for the hard braking zone again to the right. And you cannot go too inside there, as you see some cones. That's a different entry. And now for a really wide, long left corner that you cannot go full throttle here. And be careful to not clip it there. The right corner, 90-degree corner here.
I believe we did hear some contact there, so that might have ruined Joni's lap. He had a very good middle sector, but that might have ruined his day a little bit. We'll see the timing tower when he finishes. Hopefully it won't have ruined it too much.
With the camber there, it might clip you to the wall, and we see if his laps did register. It did register. As we see the first official time of 142.7.
So we're just looking on board with a couple drivers as they're going through. Let's head through that little fountain or roundabout section again, shall we? It's such a tricky section. You want to take as much speed as you can into there, but it's such a tricky corner. It's not completely flat. It's very slidey. It's very bumpy. Thankfully, these cars do bumps very well, so hopefully that doesn't, turn the drivers off too much. But it's if you look at the map, it's such an easy circuit. It's all 90-degree corners. It's all simple, but things are never as easy as they seem, are they?
No, you can even compare this track to Baku. It might look like it's 90 degrees, but it's still hard to nail the 90-degree corners because of the limits of the track being walls. You might just clip it too soon, or you go too wide and you hit the wall again. And it's never easy on a street course. As basic as the cornering is, it's still a really hard track, and there's a lot of opportunities to overtake, being so many hard braking points here. And still, really wide track. As an American road, American roads usually are wider with so many lanes. You can make a big track over here.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Enough for you can do 3-4 wide in some parts of the track.
Yeah, we did see some
I mean, look at
improvements.
how wide this is. Look at how wide it is, yeah. And this isn't even the widest part of the track.
No, I mean, you're absolutely correct. It's I think that's also going to make for some interesting races because, you know, if someone has a bad exit, there's so much slipstreaming, there's so much space for people to go different lines or to dive at the inside because, you know, you do want to take a very outside-inside line, you know, as you always want to do in racing circuits, but it's especially inside here, and if someone puts the car in the middle, you have no choice but to, you know, but to adhere and to help each other. Yeah. And we did see a message coming from the race control, driver number 43, which is Matteo Lemarais. He had a small qualifying ban, a 5-minute qualifying ban, so you know, the precious time that he needed is getting removed from his qualifying efforts. He is now, however, allowed to go out again. And I do see a lot of purple sectors from Jordan Niemi. That's, let's see what he's able to do here as he crosses through the fountain. Well, I keep calling it fountain, but it's more of a roundabout section, is it? Or plaza?
Yeah,
or...
it is. You can barely see the fountain even from this camera angle.
Yeah, it's yeah, the fountain is actually somewhere else. It's somewhere near turn, I think it's believe to the left of the start finish, if I'm not mistaken, but I might be wrong. I tried to look into it a bit on the circuit, but it's that's tough.
He did all purple sectors. A 141, the first 141.
Gains half a second. Oh, but Brandon immediately fires back. He's only like a tenth behind now, almost 2 tenths. But that, you know, we have the first round going into the 131s. I saw a practice session earlier this week that people put up. They were putting up a 32.0, which I thought was like a valiant effort. But you know, Joni's coming in showing he means business at a 131.9. It's absolutely blistering.
Yeah. Matthew G says, you can tell this is an actual Chicago because of lack of potholes. Maybe iRacing, when they scan this, these roads to make the track for NASCAR, because, yeah, this track was laser scanned for a test for NASCAR to make this will be the first street course of NASCAR history. And maybe they chose the best roads there were in Chicago. And there are no potholes on these.
Yeah, or they just fill them up beforehand. I mean, there are some heavy bumps in here, which you can really notice when you're driving. Yeah. I mean, I drove the IndyCar around here, and some of the, I think the LMP2 back before it got its speed reduced. And I can tell you, IndyCar handles pretty well about here, because IndyCars are pretty decent on the road tracks. But the LMP2, holy heck, that thing is an entire different beast. It was bumping all over the place. I had trouble getting it to stop. I had trouble. The fountain, it was nearly flat, but you just had one bump wrong and you're immediately going straight into the wall. It was absolute hell to get it through there.
Oh, Brendan just missed a lot of time there on the first sector, even though he had the purple middle sector there. He could have gotten pole right now, but there's still 7 minutes of quality to go. Can we actually check out real quick, maybe another onboard or like a front of the vehicle car? Because you can tell from the different view of the car that the track really is bumpy, even on the straights. It's just a really bumpy track, and it's not easy to just keep it on the straight line. You can see here.
Let's for the tail for a second there. You can just see the amount of like bumps there are in the suspension. This track is everything except, you know, straight and straightforward, for that matter.
Yeah, exactly. It's not as smooth, and don't even compare it to a proper road course. Yeah, you can say road course. The purposely built racetracks. This is still a road that people used to on there every day. So It's gonna be more wear out than the usual racetracks, which are paved every year almost. And probably from the sound, you can even hear the revs just going up because of the bumps.
Yeah, you can just hear it bouncing around, and you can see the drivers. They have to take it extremely careful, extremely slow, and well, not slow because they're going fast as heck, but extremely calculated to make sure they, they don't make any mistakes and just get bounced straight up. Especially with these front-wheel drive cars. I mean, you make one mistake, you have to, where you can normally maybe turn the car a little bit with your throttle. Here, you throttle and you just go straight. It's a very, very tough kind of driving. We do see Matteo putting it into P10. Good job on him. Still a little ways off of P9, but I mean, more laps should get him more familiarity with the course. So
maybe put it on gap to the leader instead of each individual.
Sure thing. Let's get that done for you. I believe that should be this one. There we go.
Yeah, that's a lot easier to see.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but there's like still almost 4 seconds slow to the leader. It's a big gaps in the middle there, as we see if it goes from half a second to then almost a second and a half, and then 2 seconds. It's a really dispersed lap times there, so to say.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it. Steve Hillwood, who actually, finished in the top 3 nearly twice last week. He's having trouble getting it through the course with a proper lap time. He's just had so many small incidents, so many bumps, so many invalidations of his lap. It's a shame to see. I mean, he still hasn't put on a lap, and he has a little, south of 4 minutes to go for this one. Let's see if we can put a lap together. Let's drive on board with him, shall we? Once again. Let's go for a beautiful roll bar view with him. Actually, let's go for a gyro. It's a bit nice. We can see from his point of view, and you can see the bumps. Look at the body of the car going. It's
The lap times on NASCAR, which are really good on the straights, and this track is mostly straights, they only apparently do 2 to 3 seconds faster than the TCRs, which isn't a big advantage. If you think about it, these cars are front-wheel drive. They're not as quick on the corners, but because of the air of the cars does help a bit to do the corners, of course. But usually the NASCARs have a lot more speed, and they still only do 2 to 3 seconds faster. So
yeah, I mean it's ridiculous if you look at it, and I think most of that is down to the way the cars handle. I mean, if you look at a NASCAR, they're big, heavy cars. They have brakes that are comparable to a wheelbarrow. They don't slow down at all. You need to start braking almost as soon as you start accelerating here with some corners.
and these are the next gens too, which are supposed to be better on road courses.
I mean, they're arguably a lot better, but still, I mean, they're not even close to these type of cars. I mean, these cars are nimble. They're good in corners. They're good over bumps. NASCAR's not so much, for that matter. And still, you only in 2 seconds. I mean, if you compare it to a GT3 and even a GTE, I think a GT3 is about 7, 8, 10 seconds faster than this, nearly. And a GTE almost being 11 seconds faster, 12. I mean, that's crazy to think about it. And of course, if you combine the best of both worlds, if you combine for example, the downforce of an open wheeler and the power of an open wheeler, you get an IndyCar, and they do a 1:09, which is incredibly insane if you think about it.
I wonder how it would look like on the prototypes, actually. I haven't seen it with, for example, the BMW, but it should be good because of the electric power. It would get a lot of speed on the corner exits.
Yeah, I would imagine the same. It's going to be a bit tough because, as you know, the prototypes, they're, at least the ages, they're a bit trigger happy on throttle, which could be scary for some of these corners, especially with the speed. Ooh, that's a big bump from Brum. That's very unfortunate.
It is probably a damaged wheel. Can we see it? Probably not. No, probably it's still okay.
It still looks straight, but he has been hitting the walls a tiny bit there. But meanwhile, we have Brendan Hawken. He has a purple sector for the first one, a yellow sector for the second one. He's coming through the last corner now. Decent, good corner. He had a good entry, good exit. Can he improve his time? That was a 1:30.18. He did it by a tenth, taking the place away from Joni Niemi, who has what I've seen is some quite good Finnish people cheering for him in chat. So it's always nice to see. I think some good turnout from their fans, Joni Niemi and Harri Junila. It's always good to see. Also some good Leon fans, which is always fun as well. Happy to see them here. And of course, everyone in chat, welcome. Ooh, that's some big hits there.
I guess that lap is done. I don't think he improved his lap time just by doing that.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, I wonder if that's sometimes the suspension that we're hearing, or if it's just, the cars hitting walls. But that was definitely some cars hitting the walls there. There's no doubt about that one.
But yeah, that
hurts.
That's done qualifying for Matteo. 40 seconds to go, and they have to finish before the 15-minute mark ends because the qualifying ends right away. It's not the last lap after the 15 minutes.
Yeah,
So
correct.
there are only about 3 people that can still do a lap, which goes all the way to Bram.
James Abram improves his time, doesn't improve his position, it seems like. Arjuna also does not improve his time. I believe Brom and Brandon are also not really in the place, and that should be our qualifying done. So, that should bring us to the grid for our race. And Paulo, how about you take us through the grid?
All right, Brandon Hawkin with another pole this season. Yoni Niemi with P2. Isaac Yan in P3. Harry Unila in P4. Bram Clay in P5. Robert in P6. Steve Aylwood with P7. Charles Bradford in P8. James Ibram in P9. Leon Jenkins in P10. Matteo Lemray in P11. And Steve Thompson in P12.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that should be the entire grid before us, and that should be the driver's pre-running as well. So, I'm going to put you in the spot here, Paulo. What are your expectations for the race? Who's going to shine? Who's going to make some mistakes? Who's going to be succumbing to the pressure?
You know what? With 12 people, maybe. I hope this time is going to be more chill than what happened in Knockhill, which happened a lot.
Yeah.
Especially in race 2. But for race 1, I expect it to take it easy since the faster guys are clearly ahead of the others. The qualifying does help to make the best drivers just stay in front and avoid some chaos on overtakes and stuff. So I expect maybe a fight between P1 and P2. We'll see. This is a brand new track. I don't think TCR usually go here even on the official races. James Ibram, for example, he just downloaded the track right before the session started. So maybe there wasn't that much practice beforehand, but hopefully for the qualifying times we can see some proper battles.
All fair. Thank you for predictions. And we are about to start with 4 lights, 5 lights, and that should be lights off. And away we go with a decent launch from Brandon. Some hardy-bargy in the back already with some position being swapped, but still solid start from Brandon. Can Joni keep onto his P2, or is Isaac going to go around the outside? I believe Isaac did get a good move on there. He is still side by side going into turn 2. In the back, everyone's still alive. No walls hit so far. No scary places. And we did hear. Ooh, that's still alive. Very good to see. Very, very good to see. And there's still a lot of cars going side by side. Things standing a little bit. Brandon did get a very good getaway. He's now already a second clear. But, as you know, everything could happen. It's a very narrow track.
You can see that Yoni, because he was on the outside, he had to brake a little, because otherwise he would crash the wall. But from behind him, Harry just plowed through him and hit it on the side, because probably he saw that too late that Yoni was going slower. Because remember, these are walls right after the corner, so you might not just be able to see what's ahead of you.
Yeah, I mean, they're all very tight corners. They're all very, very scary. I mean, you can go too wide here, which is a great thing, but you're going to lose so much speed, and at that point, you're immediately going to be under attack from the person behind you.
On this corner, you should never go too wide, because you lose a lot of speed. Even though it would be beneficial to have on this corner, but it's a long left corner, you shouldn't be wide.
Yeah,
but as you see the incident, no further action.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get our card numbers on screen as well for us. Should be able to do.
There we go.
That is not the way around I meant, but that works.
Or both finished drivers of the league.
Yeah.
Already Brandon got a huge gap of more than a second and a half on already the first lap, now going to the second lap. As I said, either there was going to be a battle, but we saw Yoni lose a lot of places, which he still has a pace. I don't think he had damage from that. Both drivers that had contact, just a racing incident. After all, you couldn't really do much about it, but now he gives a clear grade away from Brandon. But Isaac is he is a fast driver. We've seen him even win a race. But the question is, can he lower the gap to get Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, it's a dangerous track. They're all kind of slotting in currently in a single fall line, which means people are going to be You can hear the scrunches. I'm really wondering if that's people just hitting the walls or the suspension is bottoming out. I mean,
Or it could be just echo, you think, from
Yeah.
Surfer Connected.
could be. I'm expecting some good things.
Well, it is still, as you can see, everyone's still sticking together, everyone taking advantage of the switching, but there will be opportunities that people can catch an overtake, because remember, it's such a hard track, you cannot afford to do any mistake, you cannot go a bit wide, there are no grass, there are no gravel here to slow you down, no, it's direct wall. Either you just slow down to avoid hitting the wall, or avoid it by maybe go a bit slower.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to be very, very confident to be able to put on the pass here. Someone needs to have a bad exit. You need to get side by side and then basically go too wide through the corner, which is always a scary thing if you look at things here. So we will see some action in the back. James Ebram is trying to get a move on. He's trying to get an overtake done on Charles Bradford. He almost got the move. It seems like no, he got it done. Look at that. That is a good move right there. Just trying to see if there's been any incidents. I don't think we have had any crazy incidents. I'm just trying to see if we can get some off tracks showing up on stream. But so far, all clear. No off tracks. Just probably a couple wall bumps, which are, as we know, no access. That's good.
I don't think you can even see it since 0x contacts don't even appear.
Yeah,
And
correct.
there are no ways to do an off track. This is probably the only track that you cannot do an off track. Maybe get a slowdown if you cut through the cone or something, but there is no place to do an off track. It's like which track there? So I think it's Le Mans, which you can take some shortcuts and not get an off track, just slow down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just. Oh, look at that. Brandon is putting it on. He just put a. Did he just put in a faster lap than he did in qualifying?
No, you
that was
did it
31.
1:31.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. I mean, look at the times though. People are getting faster and faster by the lap, which is a great thing to see. Brandon just still head and shoulders 2.5 seconds clear of the field. Big gaps between the top three, but everyone behind the top three is still in a massive battle. It's still a very, very big battle for third place actually, which is beautiful to see. They're all bumper to bumper nearly pushing each other through the corner, which, ooh, that's some...
Yeah, you see, it's not as easy as you think to on this track. You just gotta be really consistent on your racing line, otherwise you might do a big mistake that might cost you the whole race.
Yeah, I mean, it requires a lot of trust from the drivers as well. We do see a move coming. I believe Yoni is putting a move on his fellow countryman. Ooh.
He wants that place back. Ooh, almost
close.
hitting the wall, but yeah, he had to slow down a bit. And
there is a broken car. I think Steve Thompson. Let's check what happened there. I believe that's just him making sure that people can go through. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Oh,
I noticed that he was battling James Ebram, but then he's just slowed down completely, I think.
Yeah, I believe that was just him, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, him parking the car for now. Just be safe, I assume. Which,
Yeah.
you know, fair enough for him. Good on him for making things safe. But now the battle for P3 continues. We still got Harry trying to get a move on the person in front of him. But meanwhile, Yoni and Steve are breathing down his neck. It's, whew. I mean, imagine being Brown right here. He's going to have so much pressure from the people behind him. He knows if he makes one mistake, that might be 1, 2, 3 positions gone. And at the same time, the walls are close. They are incredibly near you.
This could even be his first podium. That's why he's probably trying even harder, you know? Gotta stay with the opportunity.
Yeah, you can see Hari is looking. Oh, he went to have a look.
No, I think they did get it on Nokia actually. Didn't he? Because I think he got one because of all the chaos that happened. It could be. Now I don't exactly remember. Still, this is the even more worth it because he's doing it by pure pace.
Yeah, but meanwhile, in the move here, we saw James. He wanted to get as good as possible. I think a bit too trigger happy on the throttle. which meant he didn't get the exit he wanted, which means he couldn't put a move onto Matteo. But I mean, he is only 3 tenths behind him. He was 10th behind him, but he just could. Oh, that's some big bumps into walls. Those side of the cars are not enjoying it. I can tell you that much.
The cars can take a bit of punishment, but too much and they might just spin the wheel or just win the air. So guys, be careful. Don't hit the walls too hard.
Yeah, well, walls are no good. You don't want to hit walls. So let's recap the start of the race so far. Brandon keeping his position, staying at P1, currently with a great 2-second lead. He's also a little bit of the last couple laps, probably taking a bit safe. I mean, Isaac Jane did take his fastest lap. Isaac Jane gaining 1 position from a starting position. Ron Klaas getting 2 even. Harry is staying in his position, and Joni losing 3, going all the way from P2 to P5. Probably the biggest loss so far from the start of the race. Here the battle continues. People are really looking for those moves, and Bram is having to drive very defensive lines, which are compromising his exits. Thankfully, he's doing it in all the right places to be able to keep his position.
Yeah, he wants to stay in that position. That's surely first of all, I can see that. He's gonna try his hardest because, you know, he's a fighter. All racing drivers are.
And I mean, I love these camera angles. This just shows how fast this track is and how fast this car's going. I mean, you might look at them sometimes and think like, hey, you know,
and the suspension, the car's bouncing, it's incredible to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And you might stop to look at these cars and like, ha, touring cars, they're not that fast. I mean, seriously, just look at this. These are fast things on these surfaces. These are what they're good for. Bumps. Ooh, there's a big bump from Harry as we're speaking about into the wall on the start finish rate. That might have compromised exit. Yoni side by side, making a move into turn 1. Can he keep it? Can he go side by side through turn 1? And very respectful lines. Yoni very much sacrificing his line here, but now he is under threat. No, he got the move done. There's Yoni moving past Harry for the P4 position. So Yoni
gave Bram a big clearer. There's something that he needed to relax a bit.
Yeah, Bram has some breathing room, and that just means Harry is now the next target. Steve is also breathing down Harry's neck. And you see a driver in front of you getting overtaken. You small weakness, you want to get that person as well. So let's see what they can do. But meanwhile, looking in the back, we have James Ibram trying to make a move on to Matteo Lemarais. Trying to get the move there. He is getting really good access, but he's just not able to make the move stick so far. But right now, he is side by side. Let's see what they can do. They are side by side. Matteo hits the wall a little bit, which ruins his corner. Hits the exit a bit, and that's the move done. That's James up into P9. That's exactly what he needed to do. So, mad props from James there, being able to get past Matteo. Good move.
That's a good camera angle. Just the car sliding, it's fantastic to see.
I mean, these cars are so well made for these tracks. They have the great suspension. They're used to taking curbs. They're used to going side by side, having a bit of hard-to-hard contact. And what's better for these kind of tracks than this? We did get the fastest lap in just right now by Isaac Jane, 1:32.069, which is
putting the pace. He's putting the pace, but he for 2 minutes, 2 seconds.
And that's a move done by Steve. Just sliding past. What the heck happened there?
I was gonna say 2 seconds. Still a big gap for Isaac, but
it's a little mistake from him, and he just managed to go up the inside. Look at that.
That's why it's not as easy as you think on a street course.
Yeah, I mean, Harry just slightly missed his braking point, went a bit wide, and Steve profited off of that. So Steve up 2 position currently, and Harry down 2. But Harry, he's not done yet. He is coming back. He is smelling Steve. He is up that butt. He wants that position back. You can see it. Ooh. But Steve hitting the corner.
Yeah.
Oh no. He succumbed to the pressure.
He bounced on both the walls, but he's still trying to get the position. Crashed into Robert. That's a bit of a push.
Yeah,
I think he let him go though. He slowed down to give the position for Robert.
I'll need to give the position back, which is very nice of him. I mean, that might save him a trip to the stewarding office afterwards. So it's good for him. But as we are watching these battles in the rear, I mean behind them, Joni has gotten a lot of time onto Bron Klaas there. Now, already being behind him. I wonder if Brum made a mistake. Did he hit a wall somewhere? I don't see anything, but he has lost a lot of his pace. Maybe that's just
Oh,
tires.
did you see this?
Yeah, Brum is
He went
taking all
from
the
the
red lines.
he went wide on the first corner to go way to on the inside on the second corner just to get the little switcheroo, and it worked beautifully for Yoni.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to see. I'm not sure if the car is damaged that he hit a wall, but I mean, Brum is flying. He's going towards Joni. Oh, I mean, sorry, Joni has gotten past Brum, which is...
That was a fantastic move from Yoni. Really good racecraft there.
Yeah, and I mean, he's already half a second clear already. I mean, he is putting the moves on. Look at that. And this is bound to be a very interesting race too, because as you know, the top 10 is reversed, which means the people are going to have to pass here.
First.
Mateo's not first. That's always interesting to see. I mean, I'm assuming for him, he's going to want to have some redemption for his crash last week. But I mean, looking at the lap times, there's some...
That was wide.
Yeah. I mean, he is flying. He is basically nearly matching the times of the people in front of him. Which is, there seems to be some damage for the black and... I see a black and orange flag coming for Matteo Lemoret.
Really, did he hit somewhere?
I'm assuming so, but at this point, I'm assuming he won't come in for it. I mean, he's literally on the last or second to last lap. He has 3 laps to share that flag, remember?
But if race control says he has a orange flag, maybe he has to pit now, get the damage repaired. Is he going to do it? Apparently not.
I believe it should be the same as iRacing rules, but we are watching drivers go on the white flag lap. There's some action still happening. Charles is hunting Matteo. Matteo can feel him breathing down his neck. But meanwhile, let's take a look at Brandon, our race leader, who we haven't seen for a while. Isaac was getting closer a bit, but he's managing to pull a gap now, which is good for him. He is going into the second to last sector. So
looks like Brandon isn't the fastest per lap, but he is the most consistent, and that proves a lot more useful here on this circuit that you really need to keep on the perfect racing line for most of the time. If it sacrifices a bit of speed just to be consistent and not go too wide on certain corners, then it's probably a good thing that Brandon is doing what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean,
Charles maybe gets a final opportunity to pass Matteo to get the P1 for race 2.
Yeah, but meanwhile, we are going to switch to our race leader real quick, who is about to pass the start finish line. And that's a congratulations for race 1 on Brandon Hawken, who finishes ahead of Isaac to claim his top step of the podium for race 1. Isaac finishing P2. A valiant effort from him. He was getting closer, but he just didn't manage to do it so far. Jordan Yemi in P3. Behind him, Bram Klaas crossing the start finish line in P4. Harry Unila in P5. Robert de Koning in P6. Steve Hillwood flashing his lights as he finishes P7. Leon Jenkins weaving towards start finish in P8. And we see James Ibram, who I'm assuming is going to be pretty happy with his efforts in P9. Matteo Lemoret, who managed to keep off. Well, that was close. Matteo finishing P10 and Brum. Was that correct? No, that wasn't Steve Thompson. Finishing in P11, just a little bit behind. I'm just trying to see if we can get the points results up. There we go. Yeah, you can see the finish between Matteo and Charles was incredibly close. It was literally less than a tenth. No, it's a bit more than a tenth, but it was incredibly close. So yeah, that should be heat 1 done. So the drivers get a little break, 3 minutes. They get to hit the washroom, get the sweat out of, get the sweat away, because you gotta know they are gonna have to be sweaty.
This now is gonna be the most complicated race because of the being reverse top 10 on such a let's say harder track to overtake because it's mostly straight. And if the car ahead of you makes a mistake, it can damage you as well. Since, well, you have to brake so that you don't hit the wall. So it has to take the right opportunity to overtake, and if possible, it should be better to do the switcheroos on going wide on the entry to get a tighter exit, as we saw Yoni did before. In general, it should be hopefully a less chaotic race than knockhill. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll get to see the same kind of action, but a little bit more. I would just say it a little bit more conserved. I mean, last week in Knockout we saw a lot of action, but unfortunately some people going backwards, going sideways. Would be great to not see that. I think it's going to be a real challenge. I mean, race 2 is going to be Matteo Lemarais starting on pole position, and that's also going to be an experience for him, leading on this track with basically 11 people who want to eat him alive on his still trying to go through. So
The question is he going to defend too hard against everyone, or is he just gonna take it a bit cautious? If the car is already beside him, it's gonna let it pass him. You know, sometimes you shouldn't really take too many risks, otherwise you either punish yourself or others by doing a mistake of your own.
yeah, I mean, I'm going to be sure that he's looking at that grid and seeing Brandon coming up towards him at some point, Isaac coming towards him, and he's going to know his fight is not with them. He's not going to make it easy. I mean, I wouldn't, even if they're a lot better drivers, but you're probably not going to move over, but at the same time, you're not going to fight them as much. It's not the people you are probably going to be looking to fight, but I mean, the longer you can make it before people pass you, the more chance you have, the more chaos might happen behind you, the more positions you might gain. So, who knows?
Sometimes defending a bit too hard may lead to even more loss of time. And when the other car finally overtakes you, you're already gonna get too close to the other cars behind that car. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's just better to take the slipstream from the faster car than it is to keep defending from the faster car.
True. While I absolutely agree with you there, think about it like this. There's going to be a lot of people breathing down his neck, and the longer it takes for them to pass him, the more chances are for the people behind them also to get into action there. But, all things fun, all things considered, we are getting ready for race number 2, the feature race of this evening, Heat 2.
Well, James Abram is starting P2 as we saw him getting some pace at the end stages of race 1. Maybe he's going to take opportunity. And the fan favorite, Leon, is in P3, right behind Matteo. So, who knows? Maybe he can get a podium.
Yeah, I see a lot of support for Leon there. So, starting P3. Let's see what he can do. But I believe we are about to start in 10 seconds. So, quick prediction for you, Paolo. What's going to happen? Are we going to have a good start?
No.
Pure chaos.
3 wide in turn 1. 3 wide.
Alright, we're going to be looking forward to that. 5 lights. Lights are off very quickly, and away we go. And that's a pretty good start from Matteo. But an even better start from Leon. A bad start from James there, who's not that maybe fortunate yet.
These are super good at starts, no wonder.
Yeah, I mean, look at him. That's a great start for him. We always see action 3 wide into turn 1. You're absolutely correct, but still, no chaos.
Not yet.
Oh, but it's here. Oh, that's a little bit movement. That's some cars hitting a little bit of roadblock, and that's, I believe, Joni Niemi falling back, and I believe
That's
also
Is
James
that
Ibram. I'm not sure, but I believe that was James Ibram and Charles Bradford who were the victims there. But look at that. People just going too wide through corners. This is madness. But still, Matteo still leading. Half a lap done. I probably managed to profit a little bit from that. I mean, Hari has a 2-second gap to Steve, who is trying to fight his way towards the front here. Robert de Koning, can he get the move done? He's on the inside. Can he get it done? That's a
He gave
good
enough place, at least for Brandon.
Oh, and that's a big spin in the back there. I believe that's Steve Thompson who hit a wall there. But I might be mistaken. Yeah, that was indeed Steve Thompson. We'll head back on that shortly to see what happened there. But Matteo, almost a full lap done, still leading. That's a valiant effort, and I believe we do have the. There we go. We do have the positions here on the board. Steve Hillwood trying to make a move onto Leon Jenkins. Leon Jenkins actually gaining upper positions since start. And look at that, Isaac and Brandon both gaining 4 positions from when they started. I believe we do have the first penalty for race 2 in, which is instant between number 88 and number 8, which are Hari Junila and number James Ibram, with a penalty for number 88 for not leaving space. I believe that was for the instant early on with James, unfortunately. Oh, that's a move. Very aggressive, but...
It almost worked, but I guess the car behind him went a bit too fast, which hit Isaac. Isaac.
Yeah, that was harsh. That was painful. And I'm pretty sure our race control will be looking into that because that's a bit hargy-bargy, I'd say there. But yeah, Matteo still leading. A second clear of Steve Hill with Steve having moved up to P2, overtaking Leon. But the pack is catching up to him. Look at Isaac, look at Brendan, already catching up, already gaining 5 positions each. They are moving through the field in an absolute crazy manner.
It's mostly in single file, but we see a lot of overtakes being done here, as we see Yoni already looking for position from Brand, but he stays away. Don't forget, Brand also kept a really good pace on previous race before he did a couple of mistakes and losing position. So he is not slow.
True. Let's have a quick look what happened to Steve Tomstad in the early accident there that we saw. We did see him in the back of the incident, but we didn't see exactly what happened to him. This should show us a little bit more here. With a run towards the corner and then it's going a little bit too wide, hitting the wall, and yeah, that's very unfortunate. We also did see a little incident with James Ibram here.
This is after he already repaired his car.
Yeah, no, this is before, I believe. This is before he went into the pit lane. Ooh, that's just... Ooh,
Oh!
that
okay.
hurts. Yeah, that is definitely going into the pit lane. And I believe that was just a full reset with him exiting the car there. And let's head back to live, shall we? Because there is still some things happening. We did see some moves happen.
Change is about to do. Steve is already close to Matteo.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big fight for P1 here.
Which side is Steve gonna take? Which side Matteo going to take? Is he gonna defend Matteo from the inside? Risk the line for the exit? But Isaac is already taking a look at it. Oh! Yeah. That's a dangerous move from all those drivers there. I thought Matteo wasn't even going to give this place, but he stayed on the right and then cut to the left. Almost a crash happened there. But still a lot of opportunities still to do an overtake from Steve.
Yeah.
But we did see a bit of company from the cars behind, but we see how long his patience was that.
Yeah, but I mean that's one of the hardest things about on this track because you know it is a very much almost a single line course, and you do see drivers trying to go. Oh, there you see, and ooh, that was very close. Steve barely just doesn't able to make it, and now he's under attack from 2 people behind him as well. He has chances for people shooting up the inside as well. As you can see, Isaac going for a move there, but he has to back out, and that almost immediately opens up the window for Brandon as well. Ooh, and that's a big hit. That's a big hit for Brandon there. Oh, and that's a big spin. And Steve. Oh, that's completely Steve gone. Oh, that's painful. I believe that's also... Let's have a quick look-see there. What happened?
It was Brand
Brown Class, yeah. We're going to see a replay of that one. Him on the inside. Just, unfortunately, hitting a little bit too far on the outside, which is the contact with...
It didn't look like Steve saw Brandon on the inside there.
That is a little bit late of a move, if I say so myself there. And that's absolutely his car completely gone, with Brom also getting a big hit.
I think he moved too late to make that call for an overtake though. But he's going already to try to get the lead from Matteo.
Yeah,
Can finally someone do it?
Oof.
He's pushing him, but Brandon takes the opportunity to do it.
Oh,
that's so chaotic. Oh,
that was some engines going down, and that's a big crash there. That's absolutely devastating.
Matteo, I don't think Matteo should have gone to the right there. He still had to keep his line. Because you could see the track gets narrower. Why did he move to the right though?
Yeah,
it was about to happen a crash. It was a bit far behind. Yeah.
Let's rewatch that from the top angle here. And I think that's a little bit too late move.
He wanted to defend from here, so he stayed on there on the line. But then he goes to the right, keeps going. Thanks,
beautiful. Let's see if we can roll that back a little bit. And the like already. I think that's a bit of a squeeze from the tail there on the straight, which caught the driver behind him off a little bit, and that's about 6-7 cars out out of contention here.
Yeah, at one point, yeah, we lost half the grid. Only 5 cars on the lead there.
Yeah, that's and that's one of the dangers of these street tracks, isn't it? Drivers are so close together. One little incident could have very, very big effects on the rest of the grid. Which
Brandon took
unfortunately
like
did
the
here.
best opportunity there. He was
Oh.
patient.
Brandon had an absolute amazing run there. Like he saw that going on in front of him, and he just took it to the line, and managed to pass it before anything even happened. He could have very well been, you know, in the middle of that, but. That's just going from hero to zero at some point there for Matteo. He managed to keep the lead for so long, but unfortunately, you know, one small mistake here can mean so much. Yeah, that puts a bit of damper on there. Unfortunately, we got some people unfortunately out.
Yeah.
Steve Thompson.
Even Stone, Yoni, how fast he is, he has been having some really hard times, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I mean, you're only, you know, to finish first you have to finish, and that's never more true than on street track. You can be a second per lap faster than people, but if you get caught up in things, which is not even always your own fault, it can be over just like that. I mean, one of the...
I think what is really curious to see is because this is a street course and this is a reverse grid. It almost feels like a sprint race, you know?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
Which makes me remember Formula 1 and doing a sprint race like this. But it's Formula 1's not going to be a reverse grid, thankfully, otherwise it'll be completely terrible.
Thankfully. I mean, could you imagine seeing that?
Yeah.
That's just, at some point, dangerous, I'd say.
That would happen. That would definitely happen in real life if it was a reverse grid.
Yep. So thankfully, we don't have... I mean, imagine a reverse grid on Monaco. I shudder at the idea.
Oh, no, please no.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. But that does mean we have our current top 3, which is Brendan Hawkin, Robert Koenig, and Harry Unila. And Robert is still on the tail of Brendan. Brendan doesn't have it in the back yet. He doesn't hold the fastest lap. It actually belongs to Harry Unila this race with a 32.7. And I think those times can... yeah, that's correct. Which I think can still go a bit lower at some point, but it's... that's a tough one.
I think this is the highest position that Leon's has been, too.
Yeah, Leon P4, which is great to see from him. I think he needs his points. I mean,
But look, he's in danger by Charles right behind him, you see. And Charles is doing almost as quick as laps as Leon. But still, we saw him touch a lot of the walls beforehand, so maybe he needs to keep it more on the track and not damage the car to have an opportunity to overtake Leon. We see. Still 5 minutes to go, so maybe he can do it.
Yeah,
But we see, look at the relative. You see, he is losing time on the straight. Where he's supposed to get time from slipstream, he's actually losing it. Yodi doing the fastest lap now that he has a completely repaired car.
Yeah.
Look, you see how Charles is losing time even being behind him?
Yeah.
That's definitely damage.
It could be damage. It could also be a setup thing. I mean, maybe he's just running more downforce than the other person.
No,
So
because he
often.
was catching up earlier. Charles was being faster, but yeah.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, you can see that it catches him in the corners, and he just loses on the straight, unfortunately. So, ooh.
Yeah. Look, again, he hit
That
the wall.
hurts. Yeah, he hits the inside wall, and that just sends you straight towards the outside wall, and that hurts a lot of chances. But he's fighting on. He's putting everything he got in there.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I still think he can overtake Leon just by being better at the corners, but if he keeps losing it on the walls, it's gonna be more dangerous to him. As we see, look at how much time he gains on the corner, and now on 0.2 of a second, 1/10 of a second. Even with the slipstream, now he's going outside, so he's gonna lose a bit of speed because he doesn't have the slipstream. But I think he's gonna try doing an overtake on the outside, maybe, or do a switcheroo as we saw Yoni doing before.
He's getting a very good run out of those corners.
And Leon
he
is
can definitely
defending
do
it, so he's not gonna just give it a position.
Oh, I mean, for sure. And now onto this long straight, it's going to be into Leon's advantage. I see the cheers in chat. Let's go, Leon. Come on, Leon, keep it. A lot of cheering for Leon there. And, you know,
Leon.
as an impartial person, I just want to see this battle continue. This is an absolutely amazing battle happening here for a P4 position. And we do see Jody Niemi putting in lap after lap after lap. And look at that. Instant between 31 and 33, a drive-through for number 33, Isaac Jane, for causing a collision. And that
Who is that 41?
that's number 31 is, let me see here, Steve Hillwood and Isaac Jane. I believe that was for the contact that we saw earlier with
Oh yeah,
Isaac.
we saw him losing the rear, the what's it called, the boot, just jumping from the velocity.
Yeah, unfortunately. I believe that was the little bit of a late lunge up the inside there, which
it was.
sent our good friend Steve Hillwood into a wall there. Yeah, this battle was just keeps giving and giving. I mean, Leon must be sweating bullets here.
Oh, but Leon was doing a lot of good corners now, but oh, another hit from Charles. Come on, he can't keep hitting the car, it won't last that long.
I mean, he keeps the in there, which just shows how strong these touring cars are. I mean, they're made for a bit of door-to-door contact, so this is right up their alley.
Leon representing swag money, trying to keep his P4.
Swag money. Would you look at that? Yeah, but meanwhile, looking at the lap times, Harry is slowly inching closer towards Robert. Last lap he was 6 tenths faster than Robert there, which means at this pace he could be right on still the next 2 laps. So we'll keep an eye on that. As soon as we see that dropping below a second, we're gonna ride on board with Harry a little bit. But meanwhile, we are gonna stay with Charles Bradford, who is chasing down Leon Jenkins once again.
He has taken opportunity soon, like, oh, both down hit.
Yeah, that's a big hit.
That was Charles hitting it. Sorry, not both. But yeah, maybe Leon can start losing his speed if he keeps hitting like that. But look at how much Charles is scratching the wall, just getting every inch of the track.
I mean,
and he's getting closer and closer.
Charles is giving it.
He is trying it. But he backs out a bit, trying to get it on the next corner right here. It should be a good opportunity to get it before the straight, because the straight will give Charles an opportunity.
Let's keep an eye here. Harry on the back of Robert. As I said, on the next lap, he is right on us still. Let's ride on board with him as he chases down Robert, the Koenig, scratching the wall on the entry.
Well, Charles is gonna do it.
Is he actually?
Yes, he did it. Oh,
let's get in on the corner. We will look at the back in a second. Meanwhile, let's head towards Robert and Harry, who are chasing each other. But no, they actually keep changing positions. This is a battle that's ongoing.
Yes, because remember, Leon has an advantage on the speed, so he is going to lose a position. Charles is staying behind him now, trying to overtake him only on the corners, he tries it and forgets
he thought about it. He thought about it. He went to look for it. And I believe we are onto the last lap. Brandon is heading towards. Did you say that right? I believe it's on the last lap. He's almost about to catch some traffic from Matteo De Marais. But I believe that he is on the final lap currently. So this might well be the last lap that we are on. I can't see it yet, but we will check back in a second as Matteo tries to catch up.
Thankfully for Leon, though, he managed to stay a big enough gap from Charles, so he might keep the position for a lot longer. Actually, he reduced a lot now, just now.
Here we should be able to see, and that's the checkered flag for Brandon Hawkin. Behind Robert de Koenig is just leading Harry to the start-finish line, which is absolutely close. Let's check around here. They're about to go through the last corner. That should be a P4 for Leon. He managed to do it. I do hear some engines blowing up, but I believe that's people just shenanigan in the final corner. And that is a P4 for Leon Jenkins. Well fought. P5 for Charles Bedford. An absolutely great finish. Which I believe his first or second race. That's a valiant effort.
And he just downloaded the. Oh wait.
That's James.
That's James. I forgot James is on the last place.
Here we see Journey after doing an amazing recovery drive with the fastest lap for this race. So congratulations to him in P6. You know, sometimes it's very much worth it to continue and to finish that race. You're on board with Steve Thompson, who, despite everything, finished P7.
He only did a faster lap on the race than anyone in qualifying.
Yeah, 31.79, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Maybe because there was no pressure anymore. It might just push it a little bit harder.
I mean, at that point, what do you have got to lose? I mean, he was the last, almost the last person, arguably, on track. So, You know, good on him. He
Because
drove.
even Max Verstappen said that street courses you don't push exactly 100%, and that's fine because you don't really want to hit the wall.
I mean, you saw what happened when he pushed 100% on Jeddah. That's
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
you know, you go from 0 to 0 in about a second there. Here we see Matteo happily finishing the race in P8, and I believe that it should be our finishing order. So let's look at the results of feature race, which should be race number 2. And our double winner for today, Brendan Hawkin, with 2 races in the pocket. P2 this race, Robert de Koning. P3, Harry Junila. P4, a magnificent defensive drive from Leon Jenkins there, finishing ahead of Charles Bradford in P5. Joe Niemi in P6, Steve Thompson in P7, Matteo Lemaray in P8, Isaac Jane in P9, finishing the race a lap down, but still finishing the race is the important part. Bron Klaas P10, Steve Hillwood in P11, and James Ibram in P12. Unfortunately, the last 3 drivers all DNFing after the contact early on in the race. So I believe that just leaves us with the interviews. Let's see if we can get some drivers in here, shall we?
Brandon already in the seat.
Oh, Brandon's already ready. I mean, he's very much used to this, I'm assuming. I believe that should be our race winner into the commentary booth. Brandon, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. What an absolute, magnificent overtake there, and watching all the carnage unfold behind you there, race 2. Can you tell us about your experience this race?
Man, that was one of the scariest couple races. Not even because of like all the carnage happening. It's just that the track was, man. That's it's a lot different from a lot of other street courses. Like it seems like you make like one little like tiny error and your race is like done. So you have to hit all the bumps just right. There's like really uh, strange places, I guess, for walls to be located, and it's like, yeah, if you like, it's so tight, and yeah, if you make one little mistake, you're going into the wall. So that was some some really scary stuff. But oh man, that was a lot of fun. First race, got a really good start there, and towards the second half of the race, there, Isaac, you just picked up the pace a lot, and yeah, had to had to kind of return that, and yeah, it was pretty scary. There's a few really bad corners for like if you just make like one slight mistake, it's all over. So yeah, we were both giving it our all there towards the end, and that was a lot of fun though. And second race, just man, yeah, just chaos. It was really tough to pass, so you had to kind of take your opportunities when you could, and that allowed for people to or make some like really I guess like optimistic moves at times, and so that create some really nice door-to-door action there. But coming to yeah, I guess it was that one corner with the wall in the middle of the corner. It looked, yeah, Isaac and I'm not sure who was ahead of him. I think it was one of the
Matteo.
Audis. Matteo. Yeah, Matteo went defensive, and it looked like Isaac wanted to still stick it in there, and or at least stay behind him. And so I was like, okay, I'll just go to the outside and see if I can get the run on them on exit. They both made contact, and I was just able to scoot by before they crashed. And yeah, there were a couple really close calls there in that second race, but man, that was a lot of fun. And this track, I really hope the race follows through in real life. I know there's some controversy surrounding it, or something where they may not be able to get it in, but I really hope they get the cup race in, because it's gonna be a lot of fun. Could imagine some Macau moments happening, and what a track. It's definitely one of the trickiest tracks on here, I think.
Yeah, even for the layout that it has, it's not as easy as it looks, right?
Oh, definitely not. It looks really, really simple. Like it's just it's always just like one round corner and a few square corners, when you look at the map. But yeah, there's there's bumps everywhere. There's walls that stick out. You have to get right up against the wall if you want to be fast. And it's yeah, it's really treacherous. So I think the more laps I do here, the more comfortable we'll get. But it's really tricky. So yeah, that was a lot of fun with everybody, and yeah, what a track, what a track.
But you weren't pushing to 100%, right? We could tell that even others were going faster than you, but because you were more consistent, you kept it in general a faster pace through all the laps.
Yeah, I tried my best to maintain a good pace, but I wasn't going like completely flat out until towards the end of that first race, and it was starting to get a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, if you like one mistake can remove like laps and laps of progress. So I was just my mindset was just to remain consistent, try to manage that gap, and then in the second race, I had a bit of front end damage. My alignment was a bit out, so I was feeling pretty sketchy in some parts. So I just tried to maintain the gap as best I could, and managed to work out. But yeah, it's going to take a lot of practice, I think, to be able to go 100% lap after lap after lap without making any mistakes.
All right, hope then you had a lot of fun on this track, and I think we have someone that everyone's really looking forward in chat to hear about, which is there you go, Leon. What a race on the second one! Tell us about it.
Oh well, hello by the way, first of all. But yeah, that was a battle of attrition. I think is the best way to describe it. I ended up weaving my way through about 4 or 5 cars. I think at the like towards the end of one of the laps. I think lap 4 or something like that. Yeah, it was all avoiding crashes and just keeping the car clean.
Especially the battle against Charles, like he had the advantage on the corners, but because he had damage, you tried to be as defensive, and it worked really well on your part. We even saw like a change of position, but you kept it really good towards the last lap.
Yeah, Charles was actually, I think, quite a bit quicker than me. Generally, I'm surprised I managed to keep him behind for as long as I did. But yeah, it was a really fun race actually. It was the first time I feel like I've really had like proper wheel to wheel racing so far. And yeah, it didn't disappoint. It was really good.
Did you actually enjoy the track?
Surprisingly, yeah, I did. I didn't think I was going to. This was the one I was kind of most worried about, especially being a street circuit and everything. All the walls are so close. But yeah, it was actually I really enjoyed driving it. Yeah.
Right. Anyone has any questions for Leon?
No. I mean, it covered it quite well. My only question is real quick. Next week we're going to be going to Mount Panorama, another very tricky course. What are your expectations for that one?
Oh, yeah, a little bit more difficult, I'd say, probably than this. I'm not sure. I don't have a massive amount of experience around Bathurst, but at the same time, I didn't have a massive amount of experience around here as well. So you never know.
All right, fair enough. Just got a comment from Matthew G in the chat. What's it like being the greatest driver of all time? That's his question. That's what they all want to know.
Well, you have to ask Brandon, I think.
Oh no.
That's very modest of you right there. I mean, you drove an absolutely amazing race. Good battle with Charles there for P4. Congratulations on it. And I believe we do have one person still coming in here for an interview, which is Robert de Koning. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Hello, good
I have
evening.
a question for Robert. Now that you're finally here, how do you spell your last name?
Sorry, I can't hear you that good. How do I spell?
Your last name?
Oh, de Koning.
Koning. Okay, good.
Yeah, unfortunately, not everyone is as first in Dutch as some people are, Paolo.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, but no, I mean, congratulations on P2. You drove the race of attrition very well in race 2. Managed to get your second step on the podium. What were your thoughts on the race?
Yes, well, the track was not really my thing. I didn't have a setup, and I just enter the race and go. And uh, I choose the right side when all the other guys in front of me had a big crash, and I was on P2. Uh, um, P1 is well, I am at race pace. Not I did not deserve P2, but I was lucky, and yeah, I'm happy with the result.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they say to finish first or to finish well, you first have to finish, and that's exactly what you did. You kept your nose clean. You, as you said, you chose the right side, maybe being a little bit more cautious than some of the others who were a bit anxious to go
Yep.
through. At the end there, you had Harry Unila coming pretty close to you. Were you at all worried at the end there?
Yes, he's way much faster than I am, and yeah, I was luckily that I can. He didn't uh, make a attack on me, so um, yeah, I think P3 was okay for him, but um, yes, the race distance was good for me.
Yeah, happy it ended where it did, huh?
Yep. Yep.
Right, and as our non-English speaker, any word for any Dutch fans that are out there?
Are there Dutch fans over here? I don't know.
I mean, I'm Dutch. I'm a fan, so you know.
Oké. Ja, het was een lekkere race en ik heb genoten. Ik kijk uit naar de volgende.
Good, good. All right. Well, next week, Mount Panorama. Are we going to be seeing the same result from you? Is it a bit
I
more
hope
of your?
so. I hope that all the fast drivers are having a big accident in the corkscrew corner. I will
The dip,
call
I
it
guess.
that way. Yep, and I
The
will
big
be
pile up
waiting.
on the mountain.
It's yeah, we will see. It's a difficult track, but I like it.
All right, fair. We'll be looking for a car going very slowly through the wreckage, keeping his nose clean, and finishing on the top step next week
That
again.
would be great. Yeah,
Beautiful. Well, we won't keep you any further, Robert. I know you had another race happening soon, so good luck on that one. Hopefully you have a good result. And as well
I hope so.
for Leon and Brendan in here, thank you guys a lot for your interviews. It was great having you guys here once again.
Thank you guys
Thank
so
you.
much, and yeah, great result, Leon and Robert. Really good race from you guys, and yeah, looking forward to next week. Should be a good time out Panorama.
Yes, yes. You're definitely from another planet, Brandon. Oh my
Oh
God.
no, no, thank you, but
I think we should stop sending our messages out in outer space for driver recruitment. I mean, we get a few aliens near sometimes, which is you know.
Yes, yes. Brandon is one of them, but no, it's nice. He's very fast, driving clean, and we had once one accident, but yeah, it's good racing.
I mean that's in the end what it's all about here. So,
Yeah,
all of you guys
sure
there, thank you for being there. Thank you for showing up. We'll see you guys next week on Mount Panorama. Paulo, thank you as well for being here with me. Great having you in company once again in this commentary booth. Andy, I know you're in here as well. Thanks for being the great stewarding team as you are as always. We acknowledge it with a quack. Thank you very much. Great to see that. And, everyone at home as well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And we hope to see you next week once again at the one and only Mount Panorama Bathurst. Have a good one, have a good evening, and see you next week.
I don't